Hello again, and welcome to the Insane Asylum. I'm your host, Commander Asylum, and today I want to talk about situational awareness. If you watched my first video, you'll recognize this graphic here about how the universe is laid out in different layers. But in addition to that, I've kind of appended onto here what some of our key intelligence tools are so that I know who's in space where. So at the highest levels, at the universe, at the region, and the constellation level, the fog of war is pretty strict. It's pretty severe. It's very difficult to tell who's doing what and where, at that scale. The best tool that I have for that, let's go ahead and go over to, there's a website called zKillboard. And zKillboard, if you click on the map, you'll see this all familiar map of the universe. But as ships get blown up, then I will see them pop up here. So this kind of allows me to understand where there's someone just got blown up right there. So this kind of lets me know where combat's happening. It doesn't necessarily tell me where there's lots of people in space, but you can generally assume that where there's lots of ships blowing up, there's probably lots of people fighting as well. So this is really telling you where stuff's getting blown up. And that's one of our best tools to kind of know where the hot spots are. And zKillboard also will tell you who the some of the top ships, top groups, top locations. The most ships have been blown up right here. 2,030 ships have been blown up in the star system of Jita, near Planet 4, Moon 4, the Caldera Navy Assembly Plant. So you can kind of see this. This is some of our best intelligence tools at that universe, regional, and the constellation level. What's going on. Dotland also tells me quite a bit. So if I click on, let's go take a look at was the Forge. Was that here? There it is, the Forge. Let's go to the Forge. So I look at this region here, and this is going to show me really the system level is what this is going to do. But it'll give me at a glance. It'll give me what this whole region looks like. Let's take a look at jumps. A good feeling for how many people are in each of these systems is the number of jumps in the past 24 hours. The more jumps there are, the more likely there are to be people, like the more people that were likely there. So as you can see, Jita is that where we saw that 2,000 ships blown up. That's got 61,154 jumps in or out of this system in the past 24 hours. So this has probably got a lot of people in it. What you do know is definitely it's got a lot of people going in and out of it. It's a lot of action, a lot of motion coming through here. It looks like a lot of it went from it to perimeter, and some of it to New Caldari. Okay. So those are some of my two really high-level intelligence collection things to kind of know what's out there. Okay, so let's move over to the in-game map now. I can get a lot of data from this in-game map right here. And one of the more useful ones, so what zKillboard and what Dotland will not tell me is how many people are actually in those systems. So when I go to my map and I click on this little cogwheel here, it allows me to choose filters. So I want to choose the Geography and Statistics tab, and I can go to Average Pilots in Space in the last 30 minutes. Now this is going to show me how many people are undocked, flying around in space in each of these systems. So those are people that are actually active and flying around. So how many right here? It says 5 pilots in system right here in Imanaka. That means there's 5. In the past 30 minutes, there's been 5 pilots undocked and flying around in space in this system. And the more people, the bigger these little circles become. So if I come up here, let's take a look at Jita. That was that one really big bubble. We see how it's like red. It's very severe looking here with a color. So the darker the color, the more people that were undocked in space in the past 30 minutes. And this is not a perfect tool. Like I know there's definitely more than 153 people undocked in space in the past 30 minutes. So this is unlimited in its accuracy, but it gives you a really good idea of where activity is happening. You can see docked. Look there, 1,811 people docked in the past 30 minutes. So these are people that are there online, but not necessarily flying around in space. They've just been sitting in a station, sometime in the past 30 minutes. And then you saw that jumps in the last hour. That should reflect what we saw on Dotland. But generally, this kind of lets you have a feel for at that regional constellation level what things are looking like, and I can kind of see at the solar system level. Now I can actually get much better intel about what's going on in my local solar system. So let's go where I'm at. I'm going to click on this focus, take me where I'm at. I'm going to Imanaka. Here we are, 261 jumps in the last hour. That doesn't tell me, like, I want to know how many people are here right now? How many people that could possibly be here to kill me right now? Or hey, if I'm a hunter, maybe I'm trying to kill them. Who's here right now? So how do I find that out? So when you first join the game, you're going to have two chat tabs that are going to open up down here on the bottom left. You're going to have a corp, because everybody always has to be in a corp. Even if you're not in a player corp, you're going to be in an NPC corporation. By default, you'll be in your faction's NPC corporation. That's what this corp tab is here. Now, this other tab is local. This local, as long as you're not in wormhole space does not have a list over here on the right side for local chat. So this only works in K-space or known space as far as knowing who's here with me. So you see this local tab has the number 6 in parentheses. That means there's 6 people in local chat with me. But since everybody in the solar system here has to be in this local chat, what this is really telling me is this is the list of people that are here in this solar system with me. These are other players that are here with me. So there's someone just came here, right? There's 7 now. That number includes me. So there's me, I'm Insanity right here. There is me, and then there's 6 other people here with me, as you can see. So this is a really great tool to know who's in space with me. So now those people aren't necessarily on grid with me. Now if you look over here, so I've selected my general tab so I can see who's around me right now. I'm kind of in the middle of nowhere here right now, but there's really nothing on grid. Let's go and go check out this station over here. So just because there's 7 people here in the star system doesn't mean any of these people are on grid with me. So as I zoom in from that solar system, I have my D-scan. So to access D-scan, I'm going to take that right here. So you can hit V. V is the default hotkey to do D-scan. So what D-scan is going to do is, at first, it's going to bring up the solar system map. Now this is a separate map than we had before. It looks the same, but if I zoom out, I can't go any further. This is a special map that's going to show me my D-scan cone. In this case, it's a sphere because of my settings. I think by default it comes up at like 90 or something, but we'll talk about how to adjust that here in a minute. So click on where I'm at right here. What's really useful here with D-scan is to have this little window here in the top right separated from this map, because maybe I want to be able to see everything else that just got covered up by this map, but I also want to see what's on this D-scan. Well, I can do that. I click this little square right here and it separates these things out. So now I can close out of this map. I can see everything that's around me here. Ooh, hey, there's red stuff. So red stuff are things that are hostile to you. Now I know these Auto-Sathian Lancers aren't going to shoot me on sight unless they catch me with a corpse in my cargo, but I don't have any corpses in my cargo, so I'm not really worried about them. So let's see here, just so the D-scan. Okay, we're talking D-scan. So I got this D-scan window separated here. So now I can see my overview, I can see what's around me in space, and I have my D-scan. So when I click on this, it's going to show me all the ships that are in my D-scan selected range. So 2 things I can control the D-scan. I can control the distance that I'm scanning with this slider right here, or I can type the number in, 13, and scan, or I can just slide this up and down. Alright, and the other thing I can do is I can grab this angle right here. Right now I've selected 360, so it makes a sphere around me. So now when I click on, so if I want to bring that map back up so I kind of see what that cone or sphere looks like, I click on the solar system map and it brings that map back up. But again, it covers up everything. So now my situational awareness about what's happening immediately around me is pretty much 0. But you look here, it shows that circle. So I can see what that circle looks like. And you can see here, anything outside that circle is not going to show up on my D-scan. So if there's a ship over here at this Stargate, they are still in the solar system with me. But I don't see them on my D-scan. Same thing. Any of these other places outside of this sphere. Now, if I change this, I can turn this into a cone. Let's turn this into like 60 degrees here. There we go. Now, if I bring this back up, you can see that the shape has changed. It's changed into a cone. This allows me to find out exactly where somebody is, and that can be really useful. Well, how can that be useful, you say? Well, let's see right here. So, let's see. If I want to, let's say, I want to know, hey, is there anything here at this Jove Observatory? Well, then what I can do is, since I've separated out my D-scan window here, it's over here, I separated it out, I can choose a really narrow angle, I can make sure the thing that I want to scan is less than the range I'm scanning. So this is at 1.3 AUs, and I'm scanning 14.3 AUs. Right, so the range is good, and this angle is going to be a teeny tiny sliver of a cone. See, a little teeny tiny sliver of a cone. So I'm not going to find a whole bunch of stuff that's all around me. So now what I do is the hotkey for D-scan was V, so I'm going to hold V, and then on the overview over here, I'm going to click on what it is I want to point my scanner towards. So what just happened is it pointed that little teeny tiny cone right at this Jove observatory and scanned it. So these things that showed up in my D-scan window are all the things that showed up in that cone. I have 4 things. I have 2 control towers, I have someone in a venture, and I have someone with a mobile depot. Those are all the things that are in that cone. This can be really useful for if you think somebody might be wanting to kill you on a gate, and you want to know that before you jump to the gate. Well, what you can do is you can bring up this map, you can find something that's near the gate, which this is really hard. I got 2 regional gates. There's really nothing around here, so this is a very bad example, but if I was close enough to one of these gates where I could actually hit it with my scanner, I could scan those gates, and any ships waiting to kill me, waiting to ambush me, would show up on my directional scanner here. So I would know that, hey, if I jump there, I'm probably going to die, or maybe I know I can escape based on, if I'm in a fast frigate and they're in a battleship, I know that the battleship's not going to be able to get a hold of me fast enough for me to, not to escape, so I can just slip right through and they'll just have to watch me go. So D-scan can be really useful. That's my next layer of situational awareness. So the first layer of situational awareness here was my local chat. Again, there's me and 3 other people in the system with me. And now here, let's go ahead and let's see what I got here. Target capsuleers. Okay, so I clicked on this filter here and I said target capsuleer all. I scan this. This is only going to show me other capsuleers. Right here, there is this person in local chat, Securaria, and they are on my D-scan as well. These other people are not on my D-scan, so I've selected 360 degrees. I've taken my range all the way out and hit scan. And only 1 ship popped up. When I filtered it, it filtered all the other chaff out, all the extra crap. Because I don't know what I'm going to do with this. That's a lot. That's overwhelming information. All I don't know is who is here close to me in space, but not necessarily on grid. So I went ahead and went target capsuleer, and there we go. So all these people in the system here, only 1 person close to me. Oh, there's a person coming in. I hit. Oh, there we go. See, I saw this person come up in my overview. I saw them pop up in my overview, so I know they're not an NPC. They're another player. And then I hit scan, and I saw them pop up right here on my D-scan. Okay, that's my middle layer. So the next closest to me is going to be my local grid. You're looking at the grid right now in the middle of my screen. You can see there's a guy right here. That's another player. I know he's another player because he shows up white here. He's not blue like these allied ships are, and he's not red. Those red ships were NPC ships. This guy's white. You can see him over here on my overview as well. He shows up right here. That's another player. NPCs will not show up on this overview. If I click on targets, it'll strip away all the stuff, so I just see people that I can target, other players. NPCs will not show up on that targets. Okay, so this is my local grid, and the overview tells me what's on the local grid with me. Now the overview will also show you other stuff in the same solar system as you, so I can see right here on the general tab, hey, there's that Stargate, and that Stargate is in the solar system with me. It's not in D-scan range, but it's also 70 AU away, so I can actually warp to it. But it's not on grid with me, so if I click on this and I try to approach it, I mean, I'm going to be here for years, going 300 meters per second to get this thing that's, I don't know how many millions of meters that is away from me. That's going to take forever, so I can't really interact with it. I can't shoot it, I can't target it. If I try to target it, see, target lock-on says it's too far away, I can't target it, so I cannot really interact with it, but it's warpable because it is in the same solar system as me. And there's all the celestial stuff that I can warp to interact with the system now, but I'm not going to see the celestials in the nearby system. So again, we go to this, I click on where I'm at. For instance, these celestials, people and celestials and stations over here in the solar system next to me, IFR, are not going to show up on this overview. This is all my solar system. The only way I can have those show up on my overview so that I can then warp to them is to actually go to that system IVAR. But you'll see on my overview, if I click back on general, it's there on my overview. So I can just warp to it and go to that system, and then I can see and warp to all the stuff that's in that system right there. So that is how we have that situational awareness. We know who is near me in space. We get that intelligence, and this is probably one of the most important things to ensuring your survival in EVE Online is having that situational awareness, knowing who is around you, and knowing that if you're in low security space or no security space, anybody you see here on local, anybody you see on that D-scan, and anybody you see here on that grid probably wants to kill you. A safe assumption. So until next time, this is Commander Asylum signing off, and fly dangerous.